To my regular viewers, this video will contain no guitar amplifiers at all. Feel free to skip it. To those of you who discovered this video because you're interested in the subject, welcome. My channel is primarily about guitar amps and restoration and modification and all kinds of cool stuff if you're a guitarist. None of that will affect this video or your enjoyment or lack thereof of it. It's a lot of ofs. Anyway. In the course of doing this YouTube channel, I've become the video guy, like most of us these days. So I've got the MacBook Pro. It's the M116. I've got the iPad 9 here, and this really helps with using the MacBook with video production and editing and all kinds of stuff and filming. And I'll do other videos on the ways that this inexpensive iPad 9 helps with the very expensive MacBook and makes the iPhone 13 Pro that I'm filming this with a much more useful tool for a one-man channel or a one-woman channel. But I wanted to first mention a discovery that I made. I was looking at keyboard options for this iPad, and I was aware that Apple had the Magic Keyboard for the iPad, the old one, and then which is like $150. And then if you have the iPad Pro, they've got a different Magic Keyboard for that. That's $300. That's a lot of money to spend on a kind of flimsy thing with a really crappy little keyboard, and the case doesn't really protect it at all. So 90% of the time, I won't need that at all because I can do all my typing on the iPad from the MacBook. So this is me typing on the iPad from the MacBook. Period. All that's great. So when I'm working here, the very nice keyboard on the very nice MacBook Pro lets me type and use the mouse and trackpad on the iPad 9. So one of the top-of-the-line MacBooks makes the bottom of the range iPad very nice. But if I travel with this, then, what are my keyboard options for this? The built-in keyboard works after a fashion, but, it's good enough for in a pinch to do a quick reply. It's not really something that I want to use. I mean, this works, but it's not optimal. So I looked at the Logitech stuff. That's like $100 to $200. It's kind of ugly. It still has a crappy little keyboard. I looked at the Logitech Keys to Go, even crappier. I looked at the two different Magic keyboards that Apple sells. The less expensive for the iPad 9 is $150. The most expensive for the iPad Pro is $350. And neither one of them gives any real protection to the rear of the iPad. And the keyboard on that thing sucks. So what I have discovered for myself is I got this Muse case from Zugu, and I can control different levels, different angles. It's all magnetic. It works quite well. Has good protection all around. Pretty much gives everything that you get from the Magic Keyboard for the iPad, but with rear protection, and costs a lot less. I think it was like $35, $40. And I have an old 2011 iMac with the old wireless keyboard that takes a battery. And I just paired this with this. This works just fine. Thank you. So, if I'm traveling and I need to type and use this for actual work, if I don't want to bring the whole, this is my core of my business. I don't necessarily want to bring this to a coffee shop lightly or just throw it in the back of the car. This, if someone steals it, I can recover from that financial hit a lot faster, and it's lightweight and it's small. And so this keyboard makes this very portable. It's an infinitely better keyboard than the stuff that Apple and Logitech are selling for this alleged purpose. It's not much wider than the iPad 9. It's probably the same as the iPad 11 Pro, and a little bit narrower than the iPad 12 point whatever Pro. And you can buy these used on eBay for about 20 to 30 bucks, this model right here. There is one caveat in that the Bluetooth that this one used can interfere with 2.4G Wi-Fi. At home I'm using 6G, and this thing, if I'm out, I'll grab the 5G through my iPhone. So that doesn't affect me, but it could be a consideration. The other consideration, of course, is this just takes AA batteries, but you can buy the newer Magic Keyboard, just same size as this, without the battery, without the earlier Wi-Fi interfering 2.4G. And I've seen those, well, I've seen them listed open box for 35 bucks on eBay. I don't know if that's trustworthy. 50 to 80 is the typical range I see for the used newer Magic Keyboards. Either one will work great. It's not much larger than the little floppy crappy thing that Logitech and Apple want to sell you for a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot better keyboard. And you fit all that inside a backpack really easily. And so you get a much better experience for much less money. And I just don't see the point of the more expensive ones. And if you wanted to have the iMac up higher, like it is with the newer Magic Keyboard, you can buy a iPad stand, and there are a lot of real good ones out there. I think the Satekis are particularly nice. Or you could put it on a box or any other object, just to get this higher a little bit if you needed it closer to your eyes. So there are a lot of options out there without spending $150 to $300 for a crappy little plastic keyboard. Hope this helps you. It helped me.